Anybody else who's in college? Or knows how much they're going to have to pay in college?
Raise your hands. Why are you raising?
There's one in the back. Two of them. Would you please both stand and take your turn and tell us? There's nothing like real up-to-date experience. Okay, first in the front, yes. $0 and queuing, wonderful. And as you know, the winner of the Intel Fellowship one day went to City College, which is at CUNY. And they have great education. And what, are you just starting or have you had a year?
This is my senior year.
This is your senior year of college?
Yes.
Wonderful. Okay, what are you doing next?
Applying for medical school and also continuing a graduate program in public health.
Okay. All right. Good for you. So, there's one way to have no loans. I mean, it may also depend on your family's income, but that's... Now, in the back, would you please speak?
I go to Macaulay Honors College.
Where?
Macaulay Honors College at 100.
Oh, okay. Wonderful school, too. You don't pay any tuition either, do you?
No.
Good for you. Okay. And what program are you going into?
I'm doing pre-med right now.
You're what?
I'm doing pre-med.
Pre-med, okay. So then your only loans will be for medical school.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyone else?
Yeah.
I'm going to the University of Buffalo.
University of Buffalo, a state school, wonderful.
I'm going to be paying, tuition is actually $8,000 a year, but since I get financial aid, I'm going to pay a few hundred for the whole year.
Just a few hundred. And you have some room and board, I guess. But actually, the food you would eat, you'd have to eat anyway. But the board, that's good. So good for you that you got the grants. Were some of that in grants, Pell Grants, or something else?
Yeah, I'm still waiting for the state, but I haven't heard.
Okay, just a few $100. That's wonderful. Wonderful. And the reason I'm emphasizing this is I know students who went to schools where they had huge loans and then the schools wanted them to start paying it back, and some of them even dropped out. So it's any of I don't think there are bad schools. I really don't. Colleges. Graduate schools, they don't matter. Graduate school, you should pick the most, the one that does the best work, really, in your field. That's much more important. But for college, money does make a difference. And also, if you go to a school that's not so famous and doesn't have that much competition, then it'll be easier for you to be at the top of the class, and that may be helpful when you want to go to the next step, whether it's law school, medical school, or whatever. So it's not necessarily the most famous school that will help you with your graduate career. This is not what everybody else says, but this has been my experience and the experience of some other teachers I know with their students. Okay. Now, as I've said, SAT scores are important, particularly if you want to go to a famous Ivy League or so. I assume that Vicki had very good. Is Vicki here? She went to, yes. You had good SAT scores, didn't you? You had good SAT prep.
Programs, test programs.
Good, that will help. There's no question.
Yeah, you just look at your guidance counselor and say, hey, are there any SAT prep programs that are city? For example, I got good prep programs from Columbia University in Winter College. They offered free SAT prep.
Free SAT prep, wonderful. I was going to suggest you buy a book and maybe share it with and do a study group, but that's much better. Wonderful. And that points out another thing that I do want to say, and that is make the guidance counselor your friend. They can be very, very helpful. If, for example, the guidance counselor is not helpful, there are various things you can do. You can go see the head guidance counselor. You can go see another guidance counselor. You can bring a parent in. They listen to parents because they don't want the parent to complain up the line. They don't worry so much about students. But guidance counselors can be very helpful. Did I see a hand up there? With no. Okay. Have some of the rest of you found guidance counselors to be helpful? It depends. Yes, it depends. They're not all so helpful, but they can be. But you can't depend on them. We have found guidance counselors who don't submit transcripts when they should. Therefore, you must follow up on your college applications. You must follow up. It's not important that they've been sent. What counts is, have they been received? And when you write your application, you know, sometimes in the admissions office, there are students working, and there are students who are not smart enough, perhaps, to be in the lab. And so they're working in the guidance office, and they can mislay your application. They can misfile it. The transcripts. So, you know, it doesn't matter as long as you check. And if they don't have it, don't argue. Just send another set, whatever it is. It's as long as you check up on it, you won't lose out. And it's the same for scholarships. Every year we have students, I sent it. Who cares? What counts is, has it been received? So follow up, especially. And it is good to apply to at least 5 schools. And another thing you can do, if you get into 2 or more, and I assume you will, because of the judgments you make, for some of them, you can bargain. You can say, oh, I really want to go to your school, but I only have to pay so much less at another school. Can't you help? Very often they can. It's within their power, and they do. So do apply to at least, well, apply to about 5 schools, at least 2 you can get into. You can get free admission if you need to, if you have financial need. You can get SAT, you get help paying for SAT courses. Well, we heard about courses, but I mean even the exams. You can get help paying for the exams, so you don't have to. But you have to find out about that, and it is based on financial need and based on making friends with your guidance counselor. I mean, they are very busy. They have a lot of students, especially now. So if you are their friend, they will be more likely to look out for you, just like you look out for your friend.